What if I told you that a coin struck in the mines of ancient Rome and a string of code launched in 2009 share the same secret, that the same invisible forces that made an emperor-esque gold coin the cornerstone of commerce are alive today in the digital realm of Bitcoin? Today, we're diving deep into the story of money, value, and scarcity, and how two seemingly different assets, gold coins of antiquity and the digital asset Bitcoin, actually carry the same DNA. Imagine, for a moment, it's the 4th century. A Roman emperor rings a bell. In a nearby mint, workers pour molten gold into a mold. They raise a die and stamp the coin with the emperor's stern profile. That's a gold coin. Tangible, heavy, radiant. Take the Roman Solidus. For example, introduced by Constantine the Great, it weighed about 4.45 grams and was, 4 centuries, a high-purity gold coin. Why did people accept it? Because gold has properties we instinctively trust. It doesn't rust, it's easily divisible, it's dense, and it's universally recognized. The emperor's image gave it authenticity. Gold coins were currency, a store of value, and a way to hoard wealth. They underpinned empires and trade routes, but they had challenges. Transporting heavy gold was difficult. Verifying its purity was a constant battle, and there was always the risk of debasement, where rulers would secretly reduce the gold content to make more coins. Over time, that's exactly what happened to the Solidus. So, while gold had power, it still depended on trust in the system. Now, fast forward to January 3, 2009. A mysterious figure named Satoshi Nakamoto launches Bitcoin, a proprietary electronic cash system. The world had seen digital money before, but nothing like this. Bitcoin is built on code, cryptography, and a decentralized network. It has no king's face stamped on it. No central mint. Yet, it aspires to the same ideals as gold. To be scarce, to be a store of value, to be a form of money. Today, Bitcoin is often called digital gold. And for good reason. It has a permanently capped supply of 21 million coins. It's portable worldwide, divisible into tiny units called and thanks to the blockchain, it's incredibly resistant to counterfeiting. But is it really like an ancient gold coin? Let's explore where they overlap and where they diverge. Let's start with two huge pillars: scarcity and trust. With ancient gold coins, scarcity came from nature. Gold was rare, mining was hard, and refining it was expensive. That inherent costliness underpinned its value. With Bitcoin, scarcity is programmed. The code dictates that only 21 million will ever exist. No king, no government, no decree can change that. This shared rarity gives both assets the quality of hard money. Money that can just be created out of thin air. Then there's trust. People accepted gold coins because they trusted the issuer, the weight, and the purity. Over millennia, gold built a track record of lasting value. Bitcoin builds trust differently. Instead of trusting a king, you trust mathematics and a global network of computers. In essence, both gold coins and Bitcoin are attempts to create assets that stand apart from the control of central banks and governments, an alternative system of value. In ancient times, gold coins were actively used for exchange, paying for goods, trading, and moving wealth across borders. But as time went on, gold evolved more into a store of value. Carrying heavy coins everywhere was inefficient, and rulers preferred using cheaper fiat coins for daily transactions. Bitcoin's original ideal was also electronic cash, a medium of exchange. But in practice, many people today view it more as a long-term store of value or a speculative asset. So here is another parallel. Both assets have shifted toward being something you hold for wealth preservation, rather than something you use for your morning coffee. Now the differences start to emerge. But even they have interesting echoes. Gold coins are incredibly durable. A coin from the Roman Empire can survive for thousands of years, just as shiny as the day it was made. Bitcoin's digital ledger is similarly persistent, as long as the network itself is sustained. Gold coins can be divided by melting them down, but there are practical limits. Bitcoin can be divided into 100 million satoshis, making it far more granular. and portability. Carrying tons of gold is a logistical nightmare. Bitcoin. You can carry millions of dollars worth in your head as a seed phrase or on a device in your pocket. These features help explain why some see Bitcoin as the next evolution of gold's historic role. But value doesn't exist in a vacuum. For a gold coin to be worth anything, someone has to accept it. Kingdoms, merchants, and banks all agreed to accept gold, creating a network of acceptance that spanned continents. Bitcoin's value likewise depends on its network effect. The more users, wallets, exchanges, and institutions that adopt it, the more useful and valuable it becomes. Gold's network took millennia to mature. Bitcoin's is still young, but it's growing at a remarkable global pace. Here, the contrasts get sharper. Gold has thousands of years of history, which gives it a powerful anchor of stability. Bitcoin has only been around for about a decade and a half. Gold's price swings are relatively moderate, while Bitcoin's have been famously extreme. For those seeking high returns, Bitcoin offers incredible potential. But it also comes with significant risk. Ancient gold coins faced risks like debasement and confiscation. Bitcoin has its own modern risks. Changing regulations, technological vulnerabilities, cyber theft, and the simple human error of losing your keys. Beyond the technical details, there's something deeply psychological tying these two assets together. Gold coins carried powerful symbolism: the king's authority, the empire's might, the promise of wealth. Holding one was a statement of status and trust. Bitcoin carries its own powerful symbolism: freedom from central control, the empowerment of the individual, the triumph of code over kings. Both assets tap into deep human desires for scarcity, permanence, and a hedge against the inflation that erodes our savings. When you buy a gold coin, it's more than just an asset. It's a statement. For many, buying Bitcoin is too. Let's draw some direct parallels. Minting versus mining. Ancient coins were minted by an authority. Bitcoin is mined by computers solving complex problems. Different mechanics, same concept. Turning effort into a coin. Limited supply. Gold supply is limited by geology. Bitcoin's is limited by code. This cap is why so many call it digital gold. Store of value. Gold has long been a safe haven in uncertain times. Bitcoin is increasingly discussed in the same way. Both are global assets, borderless by nature, and both require trust: gold in the ruler, Bitcoin in the protocol. So, what can we learn from this? Scarcity matters. Whether it's physical or digital, an asset's usefulness is determined by its network of acceptance. And while they share traits, they are not equally safe. Gold has a long track record. Bitcoin is still evolving. Ultimately, belief drives value. Gold succeeded through culture and history. Bitcoin is trying to succeed through ideology and technology. If you're looking at either, you're really looking at two different chapters in the long history of money. So, where does this leave us? Ancient gold coins remind us that trusted money is essential. They warn us about the dangers of central control and debasement. Bitcoin reminds us that technology can change the game, but that new risks will always emerge. We might be heading toward a future where gold and Bitcoin coexist, one physical, one digital, each playing a complementary role. Next time you see a gold coin, remember it's more than just metal. It's a story of trust and civilization. And next time you open your Bitcoin wallet, remember you hold a piece of that same story. Because whether it's hammered in a Roman mint or encrypted on a blockchain, money only has value because we believe it does. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the hidden link between ancient gold and Bitcoin, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We have many more stories of money across time coming your way. See you in the next Vault of History.